Welcome back to the Intentional Household Podcast. The holidays are supposed to be filled with joy, but for so many families, they come with stress, overwhelm, and way too many to-dos. The good news? With a little intention and planning, it doesn't have to be that way. In this episode, Tatiana and I share practical strategies for creating a holiday season that feels lighter and more joyful. From planning ahead and setting expectations with your family, to simplifying gifts and lightening the load when hosting, you'll learn how to design holidays that align with your values instead of draining your energy. We'll also talk about creating space for traditions that truly matter, saying no when you need to, and letting go of the pressure to make everything perfect. So Tatiana, today we're talking about the holidays and how we can reduce the chaos and the stress of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we know, the holidays come every year.
Every year.
So does the stress. So if there is any way we can kind of fine tune it or plan it with intention to make it a little more enjoyable, a little less stressful, I think it's worth the discussion so that people can be mindful of how they can make it more enjoyable and get through the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to just talk about some strategies today and some of our own personal examples of what we do or hope to do to keep the stress low.
Yes.
I know that after the holidays, I'm often just feeling so overwhelmed. I'm so excited that the kids are going to be off. We spend time with family and we do a lot of outdoor activities. But by the end of the holidays, I am just so exhausted. And it's pretty much 2 weeks full on with our kids.
Mm-hmm. It's a marathon.
It's a marathon. And so this year, I want to make it a little different, do things a little differently so that I can enjoy it as well.
That sounds lovely.
Yes.
Let's figure it out.
So let's talk about what we can do today to plan ahead and just get some things in place to reduce the chaos. So one of the things that you and I talked about in advance was blacking out dates in the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And we both had different perspectives on that.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about how you would black out dates in the calendar for the holidays?
Yes. So the first thing we were talking about is kind of like how do we approach planning things out?
Okay.
And we had some notes and one of them was to black out time. And, I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Because I never really black out any time for, I think, myself of the things that I like to do.
Okay.
And because the time just gets taken away with all the to-dos and must-haves and all of that sort of stuff. But I never kind of black out little enjoyment for myself. And I actually like to go like window shopping for myself. Like I like to go to Sherway Mall, which is my closest mall. And I love to go to Indigo. And it's got like Christmas music going and it's got all these cute little things. And I'm always in a rush that I never get to like just kind of peruse and enjoy it and take things in. And I would go and get a little festive drink from Starbucks and kind of walk around. I've never done this, but this is what I would like to do.
Okay, because you never had the time.
I never have the time. I'm like walking through it like crazy, be like, oh, I should come back here and just like slow down and like look at some books and that I'm probably not going to read, but I really would like to, or like just things like that. Or even just get some gift ideas, but in a much slower pace.
Okay.
Rather than the...
Not so rushed.
Yeah. Robot that I become.
Yeah, because you're trying to fit it in amongst all the other things that you have to do. And so you have a small window.
Well, I'm like there for a reason and like just trying to finish that before I have to get back to things. So it's not really, the time is not for me to just leisurely walk around.
Okay.
I was there to get gifts for something.
Yeah.
And that's it. And finish those things and leave. Yeah, it's a mission.
Yeah.
So there's no, and it could be, it could be anywhere else. I could go to other places to just have a little bit of quiet time and enjoy the holidays on my own for like a moment.
Okay.
And I don't ever make time for that. So I'd really like to. And I think because that little thing might give me a little bit more of that feeling of stress-free, in the moment enjoyment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
without kids.
Okay. I hear what you're saying now because that is me time for you and something that you enjoy. And I said, oh, like that would not appeal to me.
Mm-hmm.
But my vision was actually quite similar in the sense that for me, I want to black out time just to say like have babysitters come so that I can do something. I'm not saying that months or a month in advance, I'm deciding what I am going to do with that time, but I'm going to schedule in the time to have babysitters or just schedule in the time to do my workout still. Because just because they're home for 2 weeks doesn't mean we need to be together 24/7. But if I don't block that or if I don't set it in the calendar, it's not going to happen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so it's putting those things for me in the calendar first before my kids take it from me or someone else wants to do an activity together. Because I mean, there's lots of fun to be had and we could say yes to everything, but it means that I won't be getting my time and then I'll be grumpy.
Yes. And I think this even starts before like the kids are out of the holidays. This is like the beginning of December because there's so many, or even the end of November. There's also, when you have children in school, there's a lot of Christmas events that their school puts on, Christmas concerts that you have to attend, not just like school, but end of year dance recitals.
Yes.
All of those things. There's often a lot of an additional amount of activities that happen, work parties for both spouses sometimes that you have to attend. All of a sudden, a lot of what you had for free time is dedicated to these holiday events, lots of them. Not to mention then you may have family and friends that are all doing individual holiday parties.
Yeah.
I have 2 friends groups. I have several family members that have holidays. We have my husband's side has 2 functions that I have to go to. My side we actually have 3, actually, come to think of it. So anyways, there's a lot that eat up weekends of time. So then, that normal free time, which is already pretty minimal.
Yeah.
I now actually have to get in, when am I going to get gifts or that sort of stuff. So that personal time definitely is quickly depleted.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we were sort of looking at. The first place is like before it gets there, before it's crazy, having those times blocked out for yourself.
Yeah.
That little saying of like, you need to put an oxygen mask on yourself first. It's like that.
Yes.
And maybe it's for me, it's like, leisurely walking through Indigo. For somebody else, it could be, just making sure they get in some extra fitness because they need that energy and that makes them feel really, able to handle everything. Or it's, just some rest time.
Exactly.
And get the kids out, get the kids to somewhere else so you can just be at home, doing nothing if you want.
That's right.
And just like decompressing.
Yeah. And it could just be a matter of having a conversation with your partner.
Who probably also needs that time.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when are you going to take some time?
Yes, exactly. And so maybe you don't need a babysitter to come on a Sunday afternoon, but you're like, hey, the night before we had a holiday party on the Sunday, how can we work together so that I get a little bit of me time and you get a little bit of
split it up.
me time?
If you think about it ahead, it's more likely to happen.
Yeah.
So it's just looking at that, looking at the calendar as usual.
Yes.
And, having all those things that you can't move, these big functions, and then finding the space where maybe you could take some time off for yourself and block it. And yes, and with your partner, so there isn't resentment.
Exactly.
Keep it balanced.
And because we know that the kids, they also go nuts. And they're overstimulated. There's so many activities going on and they actually don't get a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
And so being mindful of that. And if there is a day when you don't have things scheduled, maybe even putting that in the calendar for an hour, just downtime.
Yeah.
Because again, if you don't schedule that, it might not happen. And I know I started that a little bit in the summertime with my kids and it was great. And then we got busy.
Yeah.
And we haven't been doing it, but noting that somewhere so that on particularly busy or in particularly busy seasons or weeks to factor that into the schedule because then it can just bring the kids down a little bit and then things won't be as chaotic.
Yeah. And again, we've had a few guests here and we're going to have a few more episodes just talking about the importance of rest and making sure that that is actually a priority and that your kids see how important that is. It's not just go, 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 go. Like you just need to also make sure that there is time and space for rest. And that will, in the end, give that feeling of, this episode is about how to feel less stressed through this holiday season. If everybody has a little bit of rest time, you should come out of it feeling not so stressed.
That's right. Because if I need a break and my husband needs a break, well, guess what? my kids also need a break too. It's not just the adults. The kids definitely need a break or some downtime.
Yeah.
So making sure they get that as well so that you can just bring a little bit more calm to the household.
Definitely not over jamming it with, there's always so many things that they could do and they're going to want to do things, especially if their friends talk about, they may want to go to Christmas markets and all this stuff, but just making sure that, there's time also for that rest in between. At least maybe once a week, there's something carved out there for everybody to have a little bit of a decompression.
Yep.
If possible.
Yes, exactly. Okay, next, let's talk about, again, communication and setting expectations with your partner, with your family for the holidays.
Definitely. Again, it is a really exciting time for the kids. And I think extended family like to be part of that as much as they can. And it is, trying to balance that all out with, again, not feeling too stressed out. Sometimes that requires travel for you to go to extended family, which again, that may eat up that rest time that you're trying to ensure. So, trying to balance those things out and be like, how many things can we realistically do?
Yeah.
Does it make sense to drive 2 hours to go visit so-and-so? Can we arrange them to come to us?
Yeah.
We've got the circus, we've got the kids here. Managing those expectations well in advance so that you are protective of, your time. Nobody knows except for you of what you can handle. So communicating those things to extended family of what's going on over the holidays early before, again, they will eat that stuff up, take that time and just assume that's fine. Wouldn't it be so cute if they came to us and we have the cute little market near us, but it's like, okay, but now I'm driving there and I really needed to do X, Y, and Z. So actually you guys come to here because we also have a Christmas market.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that I like to do with my family is you may be hosting. And I know some people worry about hosting because it means oh man, they're going to be here until it's time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But setting an end time, it doesn't mean you're rude at all. No. I think it is okay to say, hey, I can host. You guys are welcome to come from, start as early as 1 p.m. and until as late as whatever time you want to set it. But that is something that I'm sure if my sisters are listening, they would chuckle, but we're firm on end times and everyone respects it because they want to go home. Some people live out of town and I want to get the process started for bedtime.
Oh yeah. Otherwise it just goes into the next day. Everybody's underslept and school's still sometimes going at this point.
Yes.
Our kids aren't out till near the end of December or just before the holidays. Sometimes we've already had those weekends that are very jam-packed with holiday activities. It's just then everybody's just starting to feel that burnt out feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you can communicate the time, that I think really helps everybody. Again, so that there are no assumptions. You should never make assumptions.
Never make assumptions, getting ahead of those things, using it to your advantage. Also those days when you do want to have those buffers for yourself, great family. Yeah. Who would like to take the kids then?
Yes.
Exactly. For those things. And again, you can't spring that on them either last minute. So well in advance, just taking a look at things and be it'd be really great if we had this day this afternoon to wrap presents or whatever in peace and quiet. And then that's a wonderful day for grandma to take the kids to a Christmas market, but she can come pick them up ideally.
Yes, exactly. Okay. You mentioned presents. Let's talk about presents, exchanging gifts, that kind of thing.
Plan for it.
Yeah. Coming up.
Don't get too overtaken with impulse purchases and sales and all of that. We do have an episode that would have just aired on holiday budgeting.
Yep.
Always good to listen to that before because it can be really tempting, to go all out on things and feeling frustrated with that after, especially if you don't communicate with your spouse on things. And that can also make you feel stressed financially after the holidays of being oh man, we overspent on this or that or the other, or why did my spouse do this? You guys just didn't have really a clear communication between the two of you to get aligned. And then of course that ends up with stress and resentment, and it happens. There's sales and Black Friday and all these things that, you can get carried away with, and your kids demand a lot.
Yeah, they do demand a lot. And I think you made a good point, but because after the holidays, I think that a lot of partners, and I'm going to say wives in particular, end up feeling resentment because a lot of the burden falls on them for the holidays, the shopping, the planning. But what if you could come up with a plan together, right? If you have 2 kids, 3 kids, what are you going to buy your kids? And who is going to buy it?
Yes. And when?
And when?
Yes. Because that's often where I fall in. Like, it's statistically shown that females are primary purchasers for a household.
Yeah. Okay.
And our minds often go early so that we can try to, give ourselves some time and everything's done.
Yep.
And so that we can enjoy the holidays as well. I start, in November, whereas my husband is not even on his radar till like December. And I'm like, I'm done. And he's like, what are you talking about? You're done. We haven't like even gotten to things. I'm like, I've tried, but you just didn't want to like, get really specific on items. So that's been an issue that we have fallen into before with just no communication on things because our approach is very different.
Very different.
Yeah.
And hey, you're talking about December for Adam. Depending on the day when Christmas falls and like if it's on the weekend or how close it is to when we go up to our in-laws, we could be talking about December 23rd, Alex may be doing his shopping.
Yep.
And so, but if we had a plan, you're going to buy this, I'm going to buy that. And I have an understanding, hey, I know he's going to be last minute, then I just let him do it. He is the owner of this gift for this child. Okay. It's going to be the 23rd and he wants to crunch it in, so be it, right? But don't take that over because I wanted to buy it in November. Let him take ownership of it. Because I know that he isn't going to let my kids down. I know he's going to get those gifts, but he's working on different deadlines that I'm working with.
Yes.
But really dividing up those tasks because they are your kids, like both of you.
Combined,
right?
Yeah.
And so having a conversation can go a long way because a lot of the times a conversation is just not had. So if you can do that, hey, if you need to work with a spreadsheet or a table to outline who is buying what, go ahead. Actually, I would love that.
I also would love that. Yeah. So would my husband.
Okay. So that could help just communicating or identifying the owner of, or rather who's responsible for buying what. And I would also say that for extended family members as well.
That's a big one for sure.
That's a big one because a lot of the time the plan is created for the kids, but there are other gifts that have to be purchased for nieces, nephews, grandparents, household support, that kind of thing. But a lot of those gifts aren't factored into who is buying it.
Definitely.
And you could be dealing really close to the I'm going to say the 25th because we celebrate Christmas. And then the wife is feeling stressed because she has to get it for the in-laws, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
If you can, include that in the plan, like for us, I buy for my nieces and Alex will buy for his side.
Yes.
But I know not everyone's like that. Don't make assumptions. So just identify who is going to be responsible for what.
Oh yeah. There's been so many times where I'm like, I've purchased gifts for his family. And then he's like, oh, we're not getting gifts this year. I'm like, oh, good to know. Because I just wanted it done.
Yeah. Okay.
And like as soon as possible, I'm like, dun, dun, dun. Everybody's finished. And putting that to rest.
Yep.
And then it'll be December 20th and be like, we're not getting gifts. Like, well, we did.
Okay. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah.
So simple conversations. And again, just little assumptions that I would have assumed it's like
do it every
prior
year.
Years. Yeah. Yes. And then those, those are things that are often, those things often happen. So again, those little bits communicated early will reduce the stress.
Exactly. And just because you've done something in previous years doesn't mean you can't change it for this year. So for, in prior years, I believe my sisters and I, we would all buy for our nieces. I only have nieces. But we switched it up, I think maybe last year and said, okay, instead, maybe one cousin chooses a name for the other cousins.
Like kind of like a Secret Santa?
Like a Secret Santa type of thing. Or if the adults want to exchange gifts, but we don't want to get gifts, or I don't want to receive gifts from everyone because I don't want all that stuff coming into my household. Well, what is the strategy that you can do? And yeah, like a Secret Santa or that kind of thing where you're just buying for one person.
Yeah.
And that's just a way to lighten the load, but then reduce all of the stuff coming in the household.
Yeah. And again, talking to your family early, I think you'd be relieved to see how many people may actually also agree with things. I think sometimes people are scared to like change how things have always been done, but it's better to just try to take a stab at it and see where it falls.
Yeah.
And you may be pleasantly surprised that everybody else is like, oh, thank God.
Exactly.
that would be great.
Yay. I just didn't want to mention it, but
That's
I'm so glad you did. And another thing that I want to mention is deadline for wish lists.
Yes.
Because like you said, some people do their shopping in November. Other people do it in December. But if you have people who are giving you wish lists, it's important to communicate a deadline.
Definitely.
Because you may have already purchased and then they decide December 15th, oh, I'm still adding things to my list. No, it's too late. I'm not even looking.
It's closed. It's closed.
So I would say if there's any sort of wish list being sent to anyone, make sure that you're clear in communicating the deadline.
Definitely. I think that's a great tip. Definitely grandparents and any extended family, it really helps to have that spreadsheet or whatever planning system because they'll ask oftentimes, well, what do the kids want? And I will literally give them a link to something and I have to keep track of it because then my husband may be like, oh, I sent that to my mom.
I know. We made that mistake.
Yes. So those are little things that like you really do. There's no way around it. You're going to have to plan this out. So the earlier you do that, the better. Same thing with doing like your calendar. And in fact, when we're talking about blocking out dates, start off with just having a little bit of a planning date.
Mm-hmm.
With you and your spouse, everything is done. Look at the calendar, block those times out, do a spreadsheet together, put in those like 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Start off and do that in November.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's talk about whether individuals are hosting or have to do any sort of cooking.
Yes.
For the holidays, because that also sucks time. When you're so busy and have to attend events and whatnot, and then you have to find time in between to potentially cook.
Yes.
As well for people who you're having over. So what are some strategies that can be done there?
Definitely potluck style. My family definitely on my husband's side does a really good job of that.
Okay.
We have, again, WhatsApp chat that it's already started of who is bringing what. Mm-hmm. We have it for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. And so everybody knows what everybody's bringing, can fill in the gaps. And it's always great to try, everybody's recipes. And it's a beautiful spread. Yeah. And the host does basically just the main course, which is like a turkey or whatever it is. Which if they don't want to cook it, they can bring it catered, but you know what I mean? It's just for the host, it is really minimal effort. Yes. They're opening their doors and that's about it. Okay. And everybody has brought, one or two items, which again is not a difficult procedure for most people. You can also purchase those things and come with it. Nobody cares. It's all delicious and it's such an easy way to function. Yes. So big supporter of doing potluck style. Big family functions. Like if you're going to have that many people hosting 20 people, 15 people, that's a lot for one person.
It is. Yeah.
So I think just moving towards that is great. Catering things obviously makes things very easy. And if you are going to be taking it on all on your own, plan accordingly around it. Give yourself a buffer day before and after, understand that it's going to take a lot and making sure that you are not that's your one big thing. If that's your love language to cook for everybody, enjoy it. Give yourself a break before and after though as well.
Oh, 100%. And think, is there anything that can be done in advance?
Oh, definitely.
Is there anything that can be done the night before?
Which there can. Most things can be.
Yes, exactly. So all of those little things so that on the day of when everyone's together and they're all gathering, you weren't stuck in the kitchen alone.
Yes.
And because if that was me, I'd be resentful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, one thing, we love having baked goods, but I don't want, we like having a variety, but I don't want to spend time baking a variety of baked goods. So generally the week before my family gets together. My friends and I do an annual baked goods exchange. And so there's about 6, 7 of us. We will each bake 2 items. And then we do an exchange. We do a dinner together and then we exchange our baked goods. One wonderful friend, she brings a box for each person and then we put them in and they look so nice.
It's so nice.
And then we can just show up to our gathering or people can show up at our house and we have this variety of baked goods that we didn't spend a whole lot of time on.
That's great. And I think I have something similar that has evolved over the years.
Okay.
Because at first it was, it'd be so great if we got the kids together and let's make cookies.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absolute mess, and they're like, I need this. I need icing. I need that icing and I want that sprinkles. And you're like, okay, this is turning out to be not so fun. And we actually need these cookies for all these things, right? So we started to each time make it a bit easier where it's like, okay, this time we're coming with like the sugar cookies. Somebody's bringing the sugar cookies already baked and already cut. Okay. And we're just decorating them.
Ooh,
and then we'll make a couple of other cookie doughs. But again, that was messy. But like it was like almost ready to go and then just assembled. Mm-hmm. So now I think it's just evolved to just decorating the sugar cookies and also just doing an exchange of the rest of them.
Okay.
Because we just found that actually committing to baking rounds of cookies and mixing and all of these things and different recipes, although that sounds like a lovely idea, like a day of baking, is actually quite messy and chaotic. Yeah. And then you're actually not... Everybody was trying to like actually have conversations and getting distracted. And we're like, what are we doing? What ingredients are going in here? And it was just not as, enjoyable as we thought. Like the concept of it sounded really fun. Let's all bake cookies together. But really like it's baking is precise. It takes over everything. And it's actually hard to socialize and deal with children that are running around and want to play.
Yes. Okay. And I've kind of learned my lesson with that on a similar note. Gingerbread houses.
Oh, yeah.
Because my kids
do not assemble them together.
No. So what, one step that is missed for anyone who is hosting any sort of gingerbread decorating, you need to assemble the houses the day before.
Oh yeah. They're going to fall apart. They take time to like stick together.
Exactly.
And you're like, okay, kids, sorry. We have to wait for like 2 hours.
They need to be pre-assembled, whether you assemble them yourself or they come pre-assembled because we don't eat our gingerbread houses. We just buy the gingerbread that we wouldn't eat.
Yes.
I'll buy the candy for it though.
Yeah.
To like make it cuter candy, not just the stuff that comes in the package. And then the houses are all set to go. So we've done it with
because the kids want to get into it right away.
Yeah, they do.
They get frustrated that it's not ready to go.
Yes. So it's an easy icing that we prepare. The candy is all set up and all they have to do is decorate it. Yep. So you don't have to worry about, we definitely don't bake the gingerbread, but you don't have to assemble it because that is a roadblock. So if you're going to do gingerbread decorating, pre-assemble those houses.
Yes. And then just have the kids watch a Christmas movie. They put the sprinkles on, they go watch a movie, and then you guys hang out. The adults hang out and it's done. And it's actually an enjoyable experience. And you get a gingerbread house. So all of the things are like, the boxes are checked.
Yes.
But the stress level is low.
Yes.
Which is where we want things to be. If you want a stress-free holiday, this is where you need to focus.
Mm-hmm. See where you can, I'm not saying cut corners, but see where you can make. Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, just make it a little easier, lighten the load, outsource things, bring in some support if you need.
I think it's also just remember, like, what do you want out of this?
I know.
It's really time to connect and time to be with each other. So if you are focused on like making these things, the structures, the baking, the cleaning the trays and all of this sort of stuff, you are actually not connecting with anybody. You are busy doing all this stuff instead. So you're there, but you're not.
That's right. Like if you're doing all of the traditions, but you're not having fun and you're not experiencing that joy, then something needs to give. But it is important that you reflect on it so that you can make the change for the future.
Yes.
Because you and I, we've talked about doing things and we're like, will we have fun and will we enjoy it? And if not, then we're not going to do it if it's going to just make us stressed.
Yeah, like I don't like a messy kitchen.
No.
I love to cook and I love to bake, but I don't like a messy kitchen.
Same.
So when I introduce other people that are also going to be cooking and baking in the house, it's just like, well, I'm going to have to live with the messy kitchen, which means I'm not going to be enjoying my time actually. So maybe I get those things in different ways. Like I can bake before and bring it. So all of those things I achieve, but just not in a stress full manner.
Yep.
So just recognizing where do I get stressed?
Exactly.
Where is the stress? These things. How do I eliminate it?
Yes. And then when the holidays are over, or as you're going through the holidays, because what I learned last year is that actually we had pulled our kids out because they're in the aftercare program.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do have the option to spend some time in aftercare. And you know what? Using that isn't the end of the world. And so last year I made a note for this year to myself to send them for a little bit. And it doesn't mean that I don't enjoy time with my kids, but it actually means that I have a bit of a break and they will have an opportunity to see their friends.
Oh, they love it. My kids ask to be in aftercare all the time.
Yeah. And so, it won't hurt anyone for them to spend some time with their friends, for me to have a little bit of a break. But anyway, that was just my example. But as you're going through the holidays and you make note of things or things that you could have done better, make a note to yourself for the future or for next year in the calendar so that it's there and you won't forget about it.
Yeah, we had an episode where we did our summer reflections.
Yeah.
Same idea. It's just like after a period, a phase, whatever that is, we had it over the summer where we had summer camps and holidays and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of the same idea. Just reflecting, learning from previous mistakes but taking action on it.
Exactly.
Like actually noting things down so that those things are already set in place and cutting down your time, even about thinking about it for the next year.
Yep. And saying no if you need.
Definitely.
So all in all, these are very basic strategies that apply to so many different things that we do, right? It's setting the expectations, communicating it clearly, seeking out support when you need the support.
Planning
early, yes. And reflecting on how you feel and how you want to feel. And then again, doing that reflection so that you can make next year's even better.
Exactly. And just following through on all those things.
Yes, exactly. Don't just talk about it.
Yeah, do it. Taking action, making sure you have those times carved out for yourself, knowing what's going to bring you joy and energy and remove the draining things.
Done.
Happy holidays.
Thank you for listening to the Intentional Household podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd love it if you shared it with a friend or family member who might find it helpful too. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram @Intentional Household for more tips, resources, and behind the scenes updates. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, thank you for joining us.